Right, welcome to the Troddler. Goodness me, what a journey. What an absolute pain in the neck. Trains are great when they work, but when they don't work, they're a right pain in the neck. So we are in the very cold but sunny city of Hull. So we're going to go down to Hull to see some old pubs and see what Hull's got to find. But welcome to the Troddler. Well, I've never seen any ice cream going at that speed. Right, I've got to say this ale trail has so far been an absolute disaster. We've struggled getting to Hull. I've gone to the wrong blooming pub to start with, and that one that I've gone, I think, might be closed. The Old White Hart, which is one of the oldest, so built around 1660, and probably the most of old famous pubs. Originally built as a private residence and artisan mariners style, modern with the free use of classical models, just like the nearby Wilberforce House. In 1881, Smith and Broderick made significant alterations, begetting to a romantic recreation of an ideally 17th century inn, complete with a huge fireplace. Legend has it that in 1642 the English Civil War was hatched at the Old White Hart. In the upstairs room, this room is aptly named the Plotting Room and has changed very little since the 17th century. The story goes that the pub resident was a residence to John Holtham, one of Hull's military governors and keeper of the nation's largest arsenal, who in 1642 precipitated the siege of Hull and at the turn of the Civil War by refusing to admit Charles I to the city. So there must have been Roundheads. But sadly, no more than an urban myth apparently, because apparently the pub was built after the Civil War. But yeah, it still has a lot of history. The venue was a meeting to plot to overthrow Lord Langdale, the Catholic governor appointed by James II, who laid siege to the town with a Protestant officer following the landing of William of Orange in November 1688. So it was also, all this lot happened before the pub. Anyhow, the pub's been here for a while. I don't think it were 18th century actually became a pub. And let's go inside and see if it's actually open. That's the Ye Old White Hart. Anyhow, it's very cold, but it's very nice inside. I've taken a few pictures for you. We've got half a stout to start with, so hopefully that'll get us in the mood. Wow, this is really something else. So this apparently the plot to overthrow was done in. Look at this. This is stepping back in time. So, and apparently these are the swords. There's a skull downstairs of a lady that got killed. And apparently she was found up here dead. And the skull is of her, so it's quite a sinister thing. But this, you can just imagine this going back in time. I've worked out the pub actually became a pub in 1730. So, but yeah, really truly historical inside. No wonder it's one of the most famous sort of buildings in Hull. This is brilliant. Yeah, that was absolutely fabulous. Like, what a great start that was. After finally looking like we were going to hit a disaster, it was open. They were absolutely brilliant. So yeah, just to think to be in the room where the plotting of the start of the English Civil War happened. So really remarkable, and you could feel the history there, feel the history of the building. Really fabulous. So on to the next one. Right, just as I thought, we're back on track. Closed door this time. So this is the Lion and Key, and the site originally belonged to the Britannia Coffee House. The Lion and Key served its first ale in 1817 and became the offices in the mid-20th century. In the 1980s, it saw it reopen as an Irish bar, Dirty Nelly's, before the current owners reinstated the original name in 2007. It is a sister pub of Walter and William Hawkes, which is just near the corner, which is where we're going to have to go now. We can't get in now. The name originated from the Wellington capture of Ciudad Rodrigo in the 1812 Peninsular Wars. The town was considered to be the key to Spain, and the pub sign outside depicts the British lion with a large key in its paws. Inside, it's a sight to behold according to the Pubs Galore website. The pub has been liberally decorated with all manners of items. The ceiling is covered with pump clips, and suspended from it are a couple of large cartwheels, acting as light fittings. So there's high shelves, horseshoes, horse brasses, you name it, they've got it. So yeah, real bit of history, but unfortunately we can't go inside, it's closed. So we'll have to go to another one instead. Right, so I'm going to the William Hawks, and I've got to say, really impressed. It's really nice. There's a lot of horse brasses in here, and pewter tankards and what have you, and it's apparently was named after the guy who used to make guns here. So yeah, really nice atmosphere, nice and warm pub on a cold day, that's what you want. So, and you know what best bit about it all, serving a bit of white rat, how good's that? Right, we're just at William Hawks, and absolutely fantastic in there. It's named after a guy who made guns, which I think I've got a picture of one of his guns inside. So yeah, really nice feeling in that pub, and nice and warm, which is also a good thing on a cold day like this. But yeah, so the other good thing is just spinning around. The next pub we've got is the Manchester Arms, which is just across the road. So the Manchester Arms was the William Hawks were established in 1810, by the way. So anyhow, this one, Manchester Arms, were established in 1791. Earlier days, I've seen the public house glory in such evocative names as the Blade Bone, the Slade Bone, the Earl Grey, and the Black Bull Inn before becoming the Manchester Arms in 1876. It's named after the HMS Manchester, which was the first ship to enter Hull's first ever dock. And next door stands Hull's oldest building. And that must be the old house. So the black and white stone carved cherubs on the facade, H windows, carvings of two drinkers, mouths agape, drinking from a barrel and the lion's head. Inside the ceiling is red, blue and green, and the back room displays a large map of Hull annotated with accounts of its history. A ship wheel hangs on another wall. So as you can see, obviously we're in a maritime area, there's a lot of ship related memorabilia, but so far the old town of Hull looks fantastic. I just come out of Manchester Arms. The lady in there has just informed me that all the other ones, instead of the line of the key, including William Hawks, have just been created over the last sort of 10 or 20 years. So obviously it goes back to 1810 as a shop, but clearly the pub owners is only about 10 years old. But anyway, they've done a good job with it either way. So it certainly looked older than that, but maybe the shop was just old and they've just tightened up the shop a little bit. But either way, it's been good so far. So on to the next one. We've only got a 3-minute walk. It's interesting about this old town. We're all next to each other. Oh, quite funny. We were trying to find it, couldn't find it, and then it says, you reckon it's over there with that big blue bell? So the next pub is the Bluebell. So this is the Bluebell, and the pub can be found in an inconspicuous alley off Lowgate. You're not kidding, it is conspicuous, flagged by a large blue bell that the inn sign. You're not kidding. It's quintessentially Victorian, but has been around since the 1790s, which is an oasis for market workers. The Bluebell was originally a coaching inn, seeing coaches arrive from and leaving for Partington, for example. During the Blitz, landlord Martin Cross valiantly saved his burning pub from incineration. His parrot Polly, aptly named, was partial to an odd gin and tonic over the 25 years of his residence. The pub was refurbished by Cameron Brewery of West Hartlepool in 1965, and then by its present owner, Tadcaster Brewers, Samuel Smiths, in 1986. So we know what that means, and no music and no phones. So just to see if we can take a few cheeky shots when we get inside, but let's go inside and have a look. Right, we're at the next one now. We're carrying on here at an alarming rate. We're doing really well. It's a bit of flying whistle top stories. So here we've got the Ye Old Black Bull, but it considers itself the oldest pub in Hull because it was serving beer from around the 1920s. So it got 1929 on the actual sign above. So the premises was originally used as tobacco merchant who traded from the River Hull. The intriguingly name reputedly comes from a black boy, the pipe-smoking American Indian, which was adopted as a symbol of the tobacco trade. The pub is allegedly to have been frequented by slavery abolitionists and champion of the partially sighted William Wilberforce. The building was later occupied by the wine merchant. The sign was known as Gastric House. In 1336, Richard Taverner took over a tenement as a gift from William de Gastric to Richard's father, who was called Hugh. The first reference to licensed premises was 1729, when the Victualler William Smith and his wife Mary bought the garden to the rear of the 149 High Street from a baker and erected a brew house on the Hayton Baker. Mentions Ye Old Black Boy. Another deed dating back from 1879 describes the property as 150 High Street and also two cottages adjoining to the rear of, formerly known as the Black Boy. The first trade direct reference to Ye Old Black Boy as a licensed premises was in 1792 when James Hayes was a victualler. A year later at auction, the Ye Old Black Boy was to sell a brewer's dray, and the brewer bought the pub in 1808. Lupton, Holden and Dewitt offered for sale the Black Boy on High Street together with tenement, pipe maker's shop and premises adjoined. Lupton Holden Brewers were at 56 High Street, and James Dewitt was a ship owner and wine merchant at North End of 1810 to 1811. By 1842 the Black Boy was advertised as a free house, and having passed from the brewers to the wine merchants, promotional flyer for the Warwick and Co. Hull owners limited between 1920 and 1823 described the premises. This house has been in bygone days was a regular meeting house for the merchants and others. Messrs. Warwick and Ward wished to intimate those concerned the facilities for meeting that there exist. The bar downstairs retains all characteristics and can sit there cheerfully, surrounded by highly polished hogsheads and glistening bottles. 2 rooms upstairs are built for small business meetings. Rooms are fully equipped with purpose, and whilst part of the old inn, the separate entrance, you don't necessarily have to pass through the bar to gain admittance. Situated in the heart of Hull's business community, therefore an ideal place for meetings. Anyone interested in the meeting rooms are invited to apply to the manager. In 1968, when Kenneth and Patricia Atkinson were licensing it, a fire of the derelict smithy spread to the back of the Ye Old Black Bull. The pub dog raised the alarm, so prevented the serious damage. And in 2015, the facade of the Black Boy was painted bright pink to mark the Freedom Festival and aimed to send out a message that colour doesn't matter. And it really, really doesn't. But what a fantastic story. So let's go inside and see what the Ye Old Black Boy has got to offer. Right, we're getting there now. We've got 4 left to do. So the next one is the Bonnie Boat. The Bonnie Boat, this was a pub traded from 1791 from the site of Trinity House Lane, called the Old Beverley Street. Before it was the Bank Hotel. It is awash with nautical nostalgia. 3 barometers, a sign saying portal to be closed when the ship's at sea, and a big bell from the tug Braham. Brahman, famous for rescuing a Royal Navy ship stuck in by the torpedo in the Second World War. Outside there is some glorious green glazed glass tiling. The name remembers the old Inuit kayak still owned by the nearby Trinity House. Captain Andrew Baker from Hull was in command of a ship called the Heartsease on the early 17th century expedition to Greenland in search of minerals when they found a kayak with an exhausted Inuit in it. The poor man sadly died, but he is remembered by his kayak and likeness of himself. And the nearby pub, the kayak was brought from Spitsbergen to Hull in 1596, so quite a lot of history there. So let's go inside and see what the bonny boat's got to offer. I've got to say, I don't know if this is Trinity House. Oh yeah, that's Trinity House across the road, so quite a very, very spectacular building is that. Very, very spectacular building. Looks very Georgian, but beautiful nonetheless. Right, here we are, we're at the Mission. We've got 3 left, I think, as far as I'm aware. No, it's obviously an ex-church is this place. So the atmosphere of this pub is noted for its spire, fine stained glass windows and the west wall and wooden pews. Formerly a chapel for the Seamen's Mission, founded in 1926. It was until recently used as an overflow service called Full Mission at nearby Holy Trinity Church. The Seamen's Mission was built in 1886 and was a kind of club and hostel for the sailors situated opposite in the offices of the local Marine Board, which sailors would have signed in to get paid for after going to sea. It was extended in 1926-1927 to form the Mariners' Church of Good Shepherd Owners. The Old Mill Brewery of Snaith was established in 1883 and opened the Mission in 1995. So at least their building's still being used for some use, but I'm not sure I'm keen on pubs that used to be churches. That's me being a bit old fashioned, I suppose. Right, we're on the penultimate pub now, so we've got the next one is the Empress. The Empress is a fine looking former Queen's Dockside pub looking onto the Queen's Gardens. It was originally called the Dockside Tavern in 1790, or just the plain dock, and then the Old Dock Tavern, refreshing those workers nearby Queen's Dock. And the toilets were in the building next door. That must have been quite interesting. The building was originally a dockside warehouse. We have a German landlord to thank for the name change in 1876. Westerhoff, Herr Westerhoff, obviously keen to cement the national ties to the monarch, successfully applied for a change of name to the Empress of India, with a proviso that the pub remained closed on Sundays. I bet that doesn't still stand, but anyhow, it looks very nice as a facade at the front, so let's see what the Empress has got to offer. Right, we're at the last pub now. We're at the Old English Gentleman, and the Old English Gentleman is on Mason Street and became a licensed premises in 1840, although the building itself goes back to around 1805. Built behind what would later become the whole new theatre. The Old English Gentleman would develop into the city's theatre pub, where many artists would visit and relax before the performances. So let's go inside and see what this theatre extravaganza has got to offer. Can I just say, this is going to be the end of the video now. this tour of the old town of Hull has been absolutely fantastic. It's a shame we had a little bit more time to save it. We've rushed this one really. We've really run around trying to make sure we get around them all, and in the way we wanted it to be. But it is bitterly cold in Hull tonight, and obviously we're delayed with the train, so we need to get back to the train station so we can get back in good time. We want to get back to Keighley for the darts at the least. So thank you ever so much for watching Teetler Toddler. I hope you enjoy this little video of Hull. Come and have a look, because the old town is absolutely fantastic. Until next time, stay safe. Bye bye.